Thanks, Juan. So I'm John Robinson. I'm CEO of Wellzesta. We are a smart health company for seniors, and we are coming out of stealth mode. What we're doing now is, over the last few months, we have locked onto a new market opportunity. So my slides are going to be a little bit thin on all five because we're sort of a little bit secretive right now as we stockpile money. We're going through a $1 million bridge round that is currently has a 770,000 subscription, and I'm here to sell the remaining $220,000 in convertible notes. But I'm not selling anything, right? So just catch me with coffee if you're interested. And the round closes this Friday. So we're a smart health company for seniors, and we've been focusing on the seniors for the last couple of years. We have several products that tie into a platform that we have developed. And basically, our global space is called elder care. And we have several products for the seniors, for their family, and it's a mobile health and wellness solution. We sell this product historically into life plan communities. It's a comprehensive solution for senior living, and our KPIs really speak for themselves. So the mean age of our user is 84. Let that sink in. And we have a daily engagement rate of 75%. So the seniors love it. They really do use it. So we've established meaningful use within our initial vertical. And so, as I said, we're in senior living, and we have multiple customers. We have about 20 communities and active use of our software. So we reasoned that we were in a fairly small market segment within elder care, and that there is opportunity beyond that. So if you look at home care, they have more than 50% of the market. So we scratched our heads and thought about ways that we could take a wonderful product and put it in a new place. So we have a great platform, paying customers who are happy, but our current market, they're very slow to adopt. And so we found a new market, home care, that is huge, growing tremendously, and we can sell into it fairly easily. So this comes to caregiver engagement, and that is, we don't only concern ourselves with seniors, but it turns out that the larger market segment are the caregivers that care for seniors. So what we've done is we have done pilots in agencies that provide home care, and the total addressable market is 3 million caregivers in the US alone. All right, so here's the main customer problem that we're solving. The caregiver turnover is fantastically high. They have a 67% caregiver turnover per year. And so they spend $2,600 to train a caregiver. If you multiply this out, then a typical franchise is going to spend roughly $250,000 a year on dealing with caregiver turnover. So we reasoned that if we could make a dent in that number, then our value proposition would be very straightforward. So we look at, kind of tease out the problem. These are the top reasons why caregivers leave, and then what we're doing about it from a solution standpoint. And basically, we have a fully gamified system. It's socialified, so we build in community, we build in smart health, and we have our own curated content. And the caregivers, basically, we make the caregiver franchises appear like they really care. They're busy doing stuff, and so the caregivers really feel more engaged, and they feel more empowered to stay. So it's a full mobile health solution. It's a Flutter application that compiles down onto both iOS and Google Play. All right, so we've done pilots now with this new vertical. There are 7 home care franchises. We have the app in the hands of over 1,000 caregivers. And this is, I think, probably the most impressive slide, is that we have it's like night and day in selling this product into this new market versus senior living. So we have 2 different sales going on. We have sales to the individual franchisees, and then we have sales to corporate. And those are very different sales. The one to the franchise is fairly straightforward. It can be done. There's typically one decision maker, the franchise owner, which is wonderful to have one stakeholder or decision maker, and then we can do it through inside sales. We can do it in a video call. We don't have to travel to Seattle to go make a sale. And then the other one is sale to corporate, and here they care more about data analytics. So our unique value proposition is that for every $1 you spend to lease or to subscribe to Thrive, it saves you $4. And here's the calculation. Okay, so we have a deal. We're predicting that this $1 million investment, which is going to go 3/4 into sales, 1/4 into product, is going to result in a number of users, which is going to translate into a boost of $1 million in SaaS, annual recurring revenue. And then if you just do a multiple of 10, then you get the increase in valuation. So this is our current revenue right now. We're starting off here, and we're proposing to hire a sales team to capitalize on this. Of course, the expenses strip SaaS, but in a year's time, we should be breaking even again, but at a higher monthly recurring revenue. So we have a very accomplished team, which I'm proud to talk about. We've got some physicians on staff and some PhDs, a wonderful group of advisors, many of which are in California, and love to tell you more about the company.
Okay, so a couple key things that I think we need to flush out and work on. One is the storyline, right? So you started off with saying I've got this investment and a round that's ongoing, and you need some more investors. It's like saying it's like starting with dessert and forgetting about the appetizer and the entree. So I think the first thing is. And I think the practical advice I have is to sit down and put together an outline of what you're trying to tell. Start from scratch. It's not to say that you're not going to end up with the same content, but think about the story you're trying to tell, and remember that the audience you're speaking to is someone who doesn't know anything about the product or anything that you're trying to solve for, right? So one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever gotten in my career was that you want to imagine that you're trying to tell your business or how something works to a 16-year-old. A 16-year-old doesn't have necessarily a lot of business acumen, but certainly has enough information and content and history to understand how things work if you simplify it. So I think that that's really the key point that I have for you. The second is obviously time management, right? The part of the pressure of working through this program is to, again, be thinking about your audience in a particular time frame in order to challenge yourself, in order to beat the buzzer, right? So that's something you'll want to practice in the future. Going through the specific points that I've been talking about, identifying the problem, I'm still not sure exactly what the problem is that you're trying to address. You mentioned churn rates and other things. I'm really not clear about what it is. I'm also not sure what the market is. How you're generating revenue, I'm not totally clear on. Funding, I think we got, and then I'm not quite sure what you're going to do with the funding either. So I'd ask you just to kind of revamp and rethink your storyline overall. There's a couple of points too that I found were hard to believe or not quite sure what you're trying to get at. You had mentioned at one point that your average user age was 84, but you're targeting caregivers. So are caregivers 84 years old? I'm not sure. I don't think that's what you were trying to say. So there's a storyline that's kind of missing. I think, again, I'm speculating that what you're trying to describe is you're trying to do some kind of pivot. You had a product, it's working well, now you're trying to go for another audience. That's what you're looking to get funding for. But again, there's a bit of lack of clarity on all of that. And then finally, I'm really surprised that you're getting that much audience from 84-year-olds using apps. I'm not saying it's not happening, but maybe you can, I realize I just threw a lot of stuff at you, but maybe if you can kind of help summarize and maybe clarify that might help with understanding what you're trying to do here.
Sure, okay. Where do I start on this? Okay, so
again, think simple, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to do this now in 5 sentences.
Right.
Right?
So
what's the problem? What are you trying to address? How are you going to get there?
So we're an existing company in
Yep.
Smart Health for Seniors. We have market traction. We have a B2B sale to life plan communities.
Imagine I'm 16 years old,
Right.
right?
To a particular segment within elder care. To communities that serve seniors.
So let's look at another example, right? We've got a large Hispanic population that's ready to work, and we have a need for blue collar workers. We're trying to match them up,
Yeah.
right? That's very simple. I did that in 3 sentences. That is the level of simplicity that you're really trying to get to. So you may want to spend some time thinking about all that, but that's how I wanted to describe it.
I kind of had 3 stories that you were trying to tell, and I think 2 of them are almost unnecessary for a pitch like this, because it just asks more questions. By leading with the funding, my question was, well, what's your existing cap table? You called it bridge financing, which in my world means something like you've already got funding, you're not profitable yet, so you need this to get to profitability. Like that term has a lot of connotations to it, but that's almost a distraction from the business opportunity you're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
So then you were trying to tell us about your existing business, which it wasn't quite clear, like how big is the team? Is that going to continue operating, or you're shutting that down? But I don't think either of those are actually important for a pitch like this. I think all that matters to me is what's the problem, what's the opportunity, and why are you positioned to solve it? Get me attracted to that, and then say, by the way, this is an exclusive. If you really want in, you got to act quickly because we're closing Friday. Like so I would focus almost exclusively on the problem, and then if I want more information, I can come find you. Whereas when you start with those that's a lot to explain.
Yeah, it is.
In the very early stages of an item. And then I would also add some more visuals in here, like pictures of what a caregiver or a franchise, I didn't even know there were assisted living franchises as an example. Like what does that even look like?
Yeah.
And so I'd be more just focus on the story you're telling, and then at the very end you can tease that, hey, I've got more, but you got to come find me to get it.
Okay, so we have 4 minutes. Should I try to fill in some gaps?
Yeah, I think so. Go for it.
Right. So we have an existing product that is used in senior living, and we have happy customers. But the issue is that sales have been slow. And so we have been looking around at other opportunities within elder care. And we have found that we can use our existing software and deploy it in a context that is the #1 problem in this new vertical of home care, which itself is massive and growing. So by talking with customers, we've identified their main pain point.
And your customers in this case are the franchise owners.
That's right. So it's the franchise owners within this market of home care. Yeah. And their main pain point is a 67% average turnover in their caregivers. So basically, whoever has the most caregivers wins.
And are those caregivers staying in the industry? Or are they going away?
It's both. It's a mixture. They either go to one of the competitors or they exit the industry entirely. In fact, the mean lifetime of a caregiver is less than 90 days. It's amazing. Yeah. But these are the frontline folks, and there are about 3 million of them that are doing it. So their main pain point, this produces both bottom line and top line pain. Okay, they can't grow because they don't have enough caregivers because they keep turning over. And bottom line is they're spending a lot of money on it. So we're coming along and saying, yeah, we can help you with this. And here's your pain, we've dissected it, and here's what we're doing about it in a software sense. And we've done a pilot to show proof of concept. And if we can reduce caregiver turnover by 10%, then we've really moved the dial for them. We've solved their main problem. From a sales standpoint, there are 2 different sales. There's at the franchise level, which is more straightforward, and then at the corporate level. A single corporate deal is about $3 million ARR for us. So it's a massive opportunity if we can first get traction at the franchise level. So the return on investment with a unique value proposition is really straightforward. That is, here's your cost for Wellzesta. It's about $9,000 a year for a typical franchise. And if you're a franchise, if we reduce the caregiver turnover by 10%, then you're talking about a reduction of $39,000 in your expenses. Now, that's just a simple back-of-the-envelope calculation. Of course, you have caregiver satisfaction and things like that to think about too. But this is just the minimum, very simple value prop.
Why is it $5 there and $7 on the prior slide?
Because our cost has gone up. That's an older slide. So there was very little price friction at $5, and so we raised it to 7. Yeah. So this slide right here is about financial projections, and right now we're hovering around $30,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue from our existing sales, and we're projecting very conservatively a linear growth in SaaS revenue. As our expenses go up, the expenses, so the $1 million that we're raising, 3/4 of it is going to go on the sales and marketing side, and 1/4 for product. We're blessed that we don't have to spend too much money on product because we already have a very robust product that we're selling in another market, so we can actually adapt our software very quickly to that concern.
So, and let's go back to the slide about the problem that you're solving and how you're doing it. That one.
Yeah.
So is this the crux of it? So if I'm hearing this right, 3 sentences. There's a high turnover rate in home healthcare business. Employers need help to reduce that turnover rate, and you've identified solutions in order to do that?
That's right.
Okay, and then the solutions are over what's on the right-hand side?
Yeah, those are, I've called them features of the software that allow it to be a solution to the problem.
So, and at the end of the day, this is a SaaS business. It's not service. So like, if you sign up 100 customers, you could walk away and they're still operating, or do you need a human behind this to facilitate the group chats and curate the articles and kind of?
Yeah, we offer our own curated content, but that's leverageable across verticals. So it is a SaaS product, but we also offer content. And as I said, it's a B2B SaaS sale. And I should mention that our churn is, knock on wood, 0.
Nice.
And that's about all we got time for.
Thank you.